Hey, happy Christmas Eve, everybody. This is going to be the only video of the day, which is a look ahead to all the NFL games today. Well, yesterday there were two games. Minnesota shut out the Packers, which is the first time that's happened at Lambeau, 16-0. Their defense shut down Brett Hundley, and now there's that whole dispute of Aaron Rodgers on the IR. Did he come off too early, such and such? We'll see how that plays out. From what I initially read, it seemed like he was able to come off the IR, then he could go back on after they realized, oh, well, our season's null and void at this point. We can't do anything. Then the Indy and Baltimore game was closer. Indy lost 23-16. Baltimore was able to win and keep their playoff hopes strong and alive. Then obviously today we have Carolina at home against Tampa Bay. Carolina's a 10-point favorite, and if I was a betting man, I would definitely take Carolina in that game because they're at home, first of all, where they've been good all season, and it's against Tampa Bay, where Jameis Winston has looked solid since he came back, but Tampa's defense has not looked good, and Cam Newton, if he can step up and play like he did last week, and play really good through the passing game, and not just his running game with his feet, which you could probably beat Tampa Bay just alone with that. This game should be pretty easy for them. Chicago and Cleveland is definitely one of the not great games from TV today, but I'm going to give that to Chicago, and Cleveland's going to, again, be on an offer for the win total because Chicago's at home, and Trubisky has grown. We have to remember Mitchell Trubisky only started 13 games in college, so he did get thrown into the NFL rather quickly for not even playing that much in collegiate ball. So we'll see how he grows next year is the biggest step for him. And then this year he just has to grow a little bit more and get smarter and get a better football IQ in terms of the NFL basis and run through all his progressions and stuff like that. Detroit and Cincinnati. Detroit will beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati's house to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're a 3-point favorite. And they basically need to keep winning to have any chance, and then have some other people lose as well, so they can't go in slow. They got to start hot, and Matthew Stafford has to have a good game. Kansas City and Miami, that's at Kansas City. Miami honestly has a chance to come out and beat Kansas City, being Jay Cutler stepped up against New England. But it seems like Kansas City's finally starting to turn it around, so I will give that game to Kansas City. Although that might not be the best game to bet on just because of how inconsistent Kansas City is this year, and Miami is a very shaky team, so you really don't want to go for them. New England and Buffalo, New England will win that game. They won 9 of the last 10. Again, the one loss was to the Dolphins, but New England will win the game at home against Buffalo. New Orleans and Atlanta is definitely one of the best games on the day, if not the best. And that game will, by a slim margin, go to the Saints. And if I was a betting man, I would bet on the Saints, especially because they're in New Orleans. The Chargers and Jets, the Jets will lose that game in their house against the Chargers, especially because they have nothing against Bryce Petty, but he's a backup quarterback in this league, and he's going up against Phillip Rivers. So the Chargers will beat the Jets in New York or the Meadowlands. The Rams, the Titans are 5-1 at home this season, while the Rams are 6-1 on the road. So I'm going to give that game to LA just because LA is the better all-around team, and both teams are good on the road as one's good at home. So I would say, if I was a betting man, bet on the Rams. Denver and Washington. Washington will beat Denver because it's in Washington. If this game was in Denver, I would have took Denver. But because it's in D.C., I would take Washington. Jacksonville and San Francisco. I'm going to take that game as an upset. I'm going to say at home, Jimmy G's been balling. The San Francisco 49ers will beat the playoff-bound, great defense, Jacksonville Jaguars in San Francisco today. And then Arizona will beat the Giants. Dallas and Seattle is another great game later today. That game will be Ezekiel Elliott's return, but I think Seattle will beat Dallas in Dallas, and if you betted on that game and you win with Seattle, they're not the favorites, so you would obviously get better than you would betting on Dallas, who are favorites. So that would be a good game to take a risk on if you have any extra flow. And then tomorrow we have two games, with just Pittsburgh and Houston is the 4:30 game, and then of course the Eagles and Oakland. The Eagles have won their last 2 home games by an average of 26.3 points. The Eagles will win that game at home tomorrow night against Oakland, and Pittsburgh will beat Houston on the road. So that is a look ahead and predictions to all the NFL games this week. This has been Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Borek. Have a great Christmas Eve, everybody. Enjoy your parties. Be safe. Have fun. Peace.